Have you been thinking about becoming a mortgage loan officer right now in 2024? And if you have, then this will be a perfect video for you to watch. My name is Zevi Shafran. I'm an owner of a company called Loanbrook Inc. We're a wholesale mortgage company in Los Angeles, California. And what I want to do in this video is I want to walk you through a couple things that I think you should keep top of mind. Maybe you know about them, maybe you don't. Maybe you're trying to figure out if now is a good time to get into the business, or if you were to get into the business, what are the expectations? How would you actually get business? And what kind of money could you expect to make? So if you're trying to capture that information, you're watching the right video. And what I want to do is dive right into it, all right? So let's start from the top. I think the one thing that we should keep in mind, the elephant in the room, is that don't expect it to be easy by any means, okay? A lot of people, they go through the licensing piece. It's great. There's a target. They know what to study for. They're ready to pass the exam. They do so. They dive in. They sign up on their licensed broker or in a bank. And now the real work comes into play. You have to originate the business. So what I want to be very clear about is number one on my list, which would be your mindset. Don't come into this business with a mindset of thinking this is going to be easy breezy. 2020 to 2022, yes, we were giving away money for free. That's basically what it felt like. Everyone was flocking to you, a ton of refi business, and it was very easy to originate loans. All right, we're not in that bracket of time anymore. A healthy flow of business for a loan officer is an even purchase to refi, or even more refis and purchases. But guess what? In today's market, there are no refinances, which means, or I should say very, very few, which means that your job is to build relationships with real estate agents who are working with buyers on purchases. So as long as you come into this business with the mindset of, you know what? One, I want to be a loan officer. So basically, we've established that ground, meaning that there's not going to be any excuses as we move forward to when we find out that now it's time to do the job. And what is the job? Well, it's going to be to talk to real estate agents. Yep. And the reason is because they're the ones dealing with the buyers, and the buyers are the ones that are purchasing the properties. And if I'm telling you that there's very few refis in the market, and that's the business that you're going to be chasing, then those are the conversations that you're going to need to have. Now, I'm telling you this so there's no surprises as to what's going to be expected when you, in fact, get your license, when you, in fact, become a mortgage loan officer. I want to take a couple steps back, because the conversations that you're going to have are going to be face-to-face conversations, which means that you're going to need to set up appointments. Now, this is really a video that's cutting through a lot of the fluff and really getting to the point of what's going to be expected if, in fact, you decide to get into this business today in 2024. Because emailing people is not going to cut it. Texting them is not going to cut it. Picking up the phone and talking to them, that's all right, but it's not going to get you the results that you want because they don't really know who you are. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but I'm not really that experienced, and to be face-to-face with some little nerve-wracking if I don't really know what I'm talking about. It's okay. You could have a mentor. Your point in all this is to learn. And there's no better way to learn than to actually do. Now, mind you, if you don't feel comfortable in the beginning, you can have somebody with you, whatever shop you join, maybe a mentor that can go to these appointments with you so you can capture the business. Your only job is going to be marketing. And I just want to be forthcoming with you. If you think you're coming into this texting people, emailing people on a blast, thinking anyone's selling you business, it's not going to happen. You're going to need to basically target the agents that are actually producing agents. All right. And you could do it in a variety of ways. You could look up production on sites like Realtor.com. You could target different areas. different tracks where, people are the predominant real estate agent in that community, in that track. It's called farming for real estate agents. And they've been there for a long time. You're going to need to grab their attention some way, somehow. All right. And when you do so, you're going to get that opportunity to have that face-to-face interaction, and they're going to listen if you're in fact friendly and engaging. You don't need to be boring. Quite frankly, most people don't even like to talk about business. They just like to talk about other things. They like to talk about themselves, their family, their kids, their activities, their hobbies. You got to be that person. If you don't think you can have these conversations, set up meetings face-to-face with real estate agents, I'm going to assure you that you're going to have a very tough time originating loans in today's market. All right. So I just wanted to start with that. Number one, mind frame. It's difficult. It's not easy. Number two, you're going to need to make calls and set up appointments, face-to-face interaction, so you can in fact build the relationship that it takes before you in fact go to number three, which is the follow-up. All right. This is very important because the money is in the follow-up. Okay, you might say, hey, Zevi, this is great. I got the mind frame down. I got it. It's not going to be easy. I'm reaching out to these agents. I'm harassing them, trying to get a face-to-face. I'm getting the face-to-face. You're going to need to follow up. If you don't follow up with these people, they're going to forget about you. In 1 week, they're not going to even know who you are. So that means that now you have to constantly talk to these people, maybe once every week, maybe once every other week, once you establish the relationship. You got to stay in front of them that when there is in fact a deal, they give you the opportunity. And it's very important to understand, I'm giving you the exact steps of what you should be doing when you in fact get in so you could actually originate business. All right, so that was number three on our list. Now remember, it's up to you how much you want to follow up with someone. Of course, you don't want to, you don't want to bother them. Some people you're going to naturally click with more than others, which makes it a lot easier to have these conversations. But the truth of the matter is, these are business calls, meaning a lot of these agents work on the weekends. And if you're lucky enough in the beginning, you can join them for an open house. It would just make solidifying the relationship a little bit easier for you, and it will be easier to ask for the business unless the business walks through the door and you have an opportunity to meet a buyer and then pick up a client, much like they do in an open house. All right. So that covers the follow-up piece. You don't follow up, I can assure you that agent is not going to remember you. And even if you're confident that they're going to start sending you business because you met them, you had a great meeting, such a great conversation, they're not sending you anything. All right. This is something that you need to treat like a garden. You put in the seed, you water it, and then it takes time for the plant to grow. So position yourself correctly. Now, once you've done that, then we go to number 4 on the list, which is the drip email campaign. All right. And so all these people that you meet, buyers, real estate agents, they got to hear from you, which means that you got to have engaging newsletters or email campaign that goes out to these people, me personally, every 2 weeks, so they don't forget about you. And if they need to reach out to you, it's super easy to find your information. How many times have you looked for somebody's contact information, you can't find it? Super annoying. To tag onto that, when you join any company, make sure with your correspondence to everyone, you have your signature line at the bottom of your email. Because there's nothing more annoying than when you're trying to figure out somebody's contact information and you can't find it because it's not available. They didn't take the time to do the most basic thing and provide their information at the bottom of their email. And you might say, yeah, but they could just email me back. Not really. A lot of people want to text you. They want to call you. They don't have your information. It becomes very difficult. All right. So that's your drip campaign. You start again with the mind frame. You know, it's not easy. You have the meetings because you're calling these people. You're following up with them. to stay in front of them, to make sure that if there is business, it's being sent your way. And then lastly, they're on a drip campaign. Every 2 weeks or so, they're getting your correspondent. They know what's going on with you. They see the deals that you close. You're giving them valuable information about different programs and different things that are available should they in fact have a client and have a question for you, all right? So that's a very, very basic roadmap that you should follow if you in fact decide that you want to get involved in mortgage in 2024. Now, for me personally, if it was me coming into this industry, if I was coming into this industry in 2024, I would probably position myself just slightly differently, simply because when I started originating commercial loans is when I realized that my paycheck could be a lot bigger than it was when I originated residential loans. Also, just like you're going after real estate agents as a residential loan officer, as a commercial loan officer, I go after residential loan officers who are already originating loans, but when a commercial loan comes in, they don't know what to do with it. The reason I'm bringing this up to your attention is because you have your whole career ahead of you. And now it's time to make some choices. Now, for me, I can tell you that looking at the market today, where I know from 2020 to 22, most of the loans were locked up at 30-year mortgages, it's very difficult to imagine that there are going to be any refinance opportunities in the near future, which means that the process that I described to you is on target should you want to get into the business, should you want to be able to originate loans. However, in commercial lending, it's different because the business is typically locked up for 3, 5, or 7 years, which means that even loans that were originated in 2020 or even 2022, some of them in the next few years are going to start opening up, and the sellers or the owners are going to have to basically make a decision. Do they want to refinance regardless of where the market is, or do they want to sell the property? Because they have to. And that's commercial lending for you. Also, it's a lot more straightforward. You don't need to get your NMLS license. You don't have to renew it every single year. All you need is a real estate license, and you need to park that under a licensed broker shop like Loanbrook, if you wanted to originate commercial loans. So the reason for this video is because I wanted to set the realistic expectation for you. If you in fact have any questions about it, in the comments below, please feel free to drop them. Happy to discuss both opportunities with you. I'm also hiring new loan officers at Loanbrook. So if you're the kind of person who wants to go through the journey to in fact originate residential or commercial loans, then send us a copy of your resume and I'll be happy to look through it. Maybe you're somebody that I want to bring into the team at Loanbrook. If you want to learn more about commercial lending, I've actually packaged up my knowledge over the past 10 years into what I call the Part-Time Commercial Lender Academy. And a link to the academy is going to be available for you in the description below. Check it out. It actually is a very simple to follow roadmap. It's a course that I've created that is able to take anybody from start to finish as a mortgage loan originator for commercial loans, all right? So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so other people like yourself can find it on the web. And if you enjoy content like this, videos like this in general, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I really appreciate you being here, appreciate you watching this. Again, any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you. And I look forward to seeing you again on my next video. Take care.